Hello, welcome you all. So, in continuation to our discussion over module number 2, two-port analysis, in the last lecture we initiate our discussions with the basic requirement and the difference between the network function, or sometimes called system function or transfer function, and the two-port analysis. So, both are related to the circuits and the circuit analysis or the system which is under the observation, and then we followed discussed about the classified the two-port analysis technique into the four different category. That is your open circuit impedance parameter, short circuit admittance parameter, hybrid parameters, and transmission parameters, which is also sometimes called as ABCD parameters. So in the last lecture, we had a detailed discussions about the importance, role, and how to conduct the impedance analysis, or in a broader terms, what we call open circuit impedance parameter analysis. Okay, how to find it out these parameters and how those parameters are important in which kind of circumstances. As we conclude that it is very important to find the impedance matching property, and impedance matching property between within the circuit, and that means within the circuit impedance and the load impedance, or whether you talk about we apply the impedance matching property between the two circuits. Okay, so that the maximum amount of power can be transferred without any loss, okay, with the minimal amount of loss by satisfying the constraints of maximum power transfer theorem. In that case, jet parameter analysis is very important. What is the vitality? The signature is the vital signature is that it is this parameter uh, analysis, that is jet parameter, is observed or is analyzed when the currents, that is the input and output current of the two-port network, are available, are known, while the voltage parameters are playing as a dependent variable role. Okay, so now question comes before moving ahead over the admittance parameter. If someone asks you a question that can we, though it helps us to evaluate the impedance matching property, or to evaluate that whether the circuit has the ability to apply the impedance matching property or not, or to establish the impedance matching between the two networks, what should be the element value and what should be the parameters value, so that the impedance matching can be achieved between the two stages. If that is possible, is it possible that whether we can say that with the help of impedance parameter analysis, we can test that whether the system is reciprocal in nature or not, or whether it is symmetric in nature or not. How would you find out? We can do so with the help of a simple, establishing a simple relation. If in the last slide, what you have seen, that we worked out the four parameters Z11, Z12, Z21, and Z22. If sorry, there is input impedance parameter and the output impedance parameters are equal in magnitude, that is Z11 is equal to Z22, then this is nothing but it is the condition of symmetricity. You can say that that particular two-port network is a symmetrical network. You can test it even based on the previous problems also what we have discussed. Okay, at the same time, when you are going to compare the transfer impedances, that is the forward transfer impedances Z21 and the reverse transfer impedance Z12, if these two parameters are equal in magnitude, that is and as well as phase, okay, whether it is a resistive network or whether it is a complex network, it doesn't matter. But if Z12 is equal to Z21 or R12 is equal to R21, in that case you can say that the network is reciprocal in nature. So that's how you can be able to find out, and these conditions are equally applicable over the today's parameter what we are supposed to do, that is called your admittance parameter in short, or as an exact we can say that it is a short circuited admittance parameters. Now hope that the reason should be clear with you, that the admittance parameter is nothing but overall the admittance parameter is the inverse of the impedance parameters. Okay, but it should be noted that not the individual parameter of maybe are the inverse, or you can say that in other words the complement each other. That means Z11 should not be comparable with Y11. Z22 should not be comparable with Y22. Similarly, Z12 and Z21 also not is comparable with Y12 and Y21. What is the reason behind it? We will just see in the preceding slides. At this stage, you can say that admittance parameter is very useful in the scenario when it is difficult to find out the relations, or it is difficult to analyze in terms of the impedance parameters. Or in other words, we used to work out the admittance parameter when more number of nodal relations are there rather than the mesh relations. Okay, so in that circumstances, impedance parameters normally does not exist, okay, or may not exist, I would say. So therefore it is advised to refer the admittance parameter, because it is much more easier to evaluate the performance or analyze the performance of the circuit in terms of admittance parameters rather than the impedance parameters. Okay, similarly, because it is an admittance in nature, so it should be noted if there are more than one networks are involved, as if more than one networks to come together to establish or to realize a complex electrical network or electronic network, and if these networks as an individual entity are connected in parallel, that in shunt, in that case it is advisable to analyze the performance of the network in terms of admittance parameter rather than impedance parameter, because it is very obvious, because if the networks are established are connected in parallel, then if you are through this analysis, if you are going to through with the impedance parameter analysis, it would unnecessarily take much more longer time. Okay, so therefore it is not advised to go through that. Fine. The last thing, obviously you should be also able to understand that why we called it here short circuit admittance parameter. As you can see in this matrix, your dependent parameters are now the currents, input and output current at the terminal I1 and I2 respectively. Similarly, the input and output terminal voltages V1 and V2 are now independent variables. Okay, so though the voltage is an independent variable and the current are the dependent variable, therefore it is advised to calculate the admittance parameters. So as you can notice in this slide, what we discussed in the previous slides, that all the admittance parameters are able to calculate. We can calculate only if you are going to shorted one of the input or output terminals. That means by assuming either the input terminal voltage 11 V1 is equal to 0, or maybe the V2 is equal to 0. So that's why it is recognized, all are recognized as a short circuit parameters, and overall this metric is also recognized as a short circuit admittance parameters. And from here again the question comes that just like we apply the we test the conditions of reciprocity and the symmetricity in case of a jet parameter, as I told you in the beginning of this particular slide. Can we work out the similar characteristic of the given network with the help of admittance parameter or not? Then the answer is yes. So to check that whether the circuit or the given network is symmetric or not, is symmetric in nature or not, so what you need to do, that you are supposed to calculate that whether the you can say whether the input admittance parameter, that is y11 y11 is equal to y, yes, y22 or not, right? If it exists, then you can say that it satisfies the condition of symmetricity. Okay, similarly, if you will say that y12, that is the reverse transfer admittance, is equal to y21, yes, that is the forward transfer admittance, then the circuit satisfy the condition of reciprocity or not, the condition circuit is reciprocal or not, right? So therefore let us proceed. So this presentation is, I think, serves all the purpose what we have been discussed. Okay, then accordingly you work it out. Okay, the diagram is referred from the book of Wallstein. Okay, so now if you conclude all the four matrices, so here you see that in form of matrix form, to calculate the value of y, okay, you need to work out y11, y12, y21 and y22 in this fashion. Fine. So now the question comes that whether the y11, okay, for an example, if you will take here that the we have already worked out all the four parameters individually, right? So if I will write down here that whether the y11 of the given network is equal to, okay, inverse of z11 or not. Okay, so I'll mention that here, consider it as a negative sign. I'm considering it as 1. Okay, so y11 question comes that y11 is the inverse of z11 or not, or similarly y12 is the inverse of z12 or not, y21 is the inverse of z21 or not, y22 is the inverse of z22 or not, because we know that as far as the y is concerned, the admittance of a given network is concerned, it is the inverse of the z, okay, impedance, okay, it suits the mathematical logic. Okay, so the answer is no, it does not satisfy and it cannot be comparable at all. Okay, because when we talk about the y or z, overall y or z, that means the admittance of the network. Remember, this y is the indication of the admittance of the network. Okay, this y is the indication of the admittance of the network, right? Overall admittance of the network, whereas this z is overall impedance of the network. So obviously overall impedance is the inverse of admittance. There is no logic behind, there is no debate about it. But there is absolutely no technical logic where you can say that y11 is the inverse of z1. Why? Can anybody notice? The notice is the circumstances or the conditions you applied. Okay, you must see that all the individual z parameters, whether it is z11, 12, 21 or 22, are worked out by applying a constraint, that is one of the terminal is open circuited. So z11 we find out when we assume that I2 is equal to 0, that means output terminal is open circuited. But if you worked out y11, then we are able to calculate y11 by short circuiting the output terminal. Okay, and shorting and opening of a terminal are not the complement of each other. This will not put the inverse impact over the system. So at no circumstances you can say that the individual parameter of y or z are inverse of each other. That's not true. Okay, you can test it also even. I hope that you understand. So let us proceed forward. Okay, this is the similar representation, but if you compare it with the demonstrations we done in case of z parameter, so here you must have noticed that this is an amplifier which is mentioned in form of admittance form. Okay, where are the two sources? Current sources are mentioned here. This is nothing but it is a typical example of the common current configurations. Okay, or in other words, I would say that the current amplifiers. Okay, because both the dependent sources here you see, okay, R is a type of a current source, okay, and it is dependent on voltage. So what kind of configuration it is? It is voltage dependent current source. And what is, how do you find out admittance parameters? You are able to apply work out admittance parameter in terms of current as a dependent variable by keeping one of the terminal short. So you are controlling with the help of a V, that is the voltages. Okay, either you are shorting. So that's why you will find, always find a current source, okay, is an equivalent dependent source representation as far as the admittance parameter are concerned. Okay, so you can say that the overall network Y is the inverse of Z. I hope that it serves your purpose. Okay, so the, if you apply the duality circuit, okay, so the duality circuit of the circuit B is shown here, you will get the equivalent circuit B of the Z transform. Similarly, if you look at the circuit A, here you are getting a pi network or what you call the delta network. Now, pi network is the complement of the T network, right? Or you can say that the delta network is a complement of a star network or Y network, fine? So that's why here it is represented in terms of admittance parameter. So as a pi network. So in other words, if you look at the second side of the coin, if a pi network is given and you have a freedom to calculate the overall impedance or admittance, then you should choose the admittance parameter because it is easier to apply. It is easier to calculate. Similarly, if a T network is given or star network is given, and if you have flexibility, you should always calculate the Z parameters. Okay? Because it will consume the lesser amount of steps or the time delay, experience delay. So there is a problem is given. I hope that is the way we have discussed in case of Z parameter, you will be able to solve it. Okay? So I am proceeding with the next problem. Okay? That is the standardization approach is given. S stands for the Siemens, that is the ohm inverse. Okay? So rest I think you will be able to calculate, and I hope that you will be able to find answer. Determine the Y parameter for this T network where a dependent current source is additionally adjusted over here. You see that this source is dependent this on this incoming current I. Okay, so try to practice it at the later stage, or in fact you can take 2 minutes of time, and then we will move ahead. So I hope that you get the answer. If you find any difficulty, obviously we can clarify in the doubt clearance session in the next lecture. Okay. So the circuitual representation is given. So I don't think that you will find any difficulty. Steps of answer is also here. Just for your reference. For an example, in this problem, in that circuit, we have been observed that Y12 is equal to minus 0.05 Siemens or ohm inverse, okay, which is not equal to the value of Y21. So therefore, the circuit is not a reciprocal. Yeah. So for example, you can take the one more demonstration where you have a pi network, and then your current source is applicable. The voltage controlled current source is applicable is applied in the given network, and your job is to find out the y parameters. So what you can do that you can write down the two standard nodal equations. Okay, it is easier to write. So understand the concept. See, that's why it is a pi network, so it's very easy to write the nodal equation. If it is a, star network, then it is easier to write the mass equation. Okay? So I11, I1, the nodal equation, first nodal equation is y1 v1 plus y2, the difference of the two voltage v1 and v2. Okay, so we can rearrange the modified equation. Second equation you can apply somewhere over here, and you can get that I2 is equal to 0.5 v1 because that is the additional voltage being added plus the potential over here. Okay, so this is y3 v2 plus y2 v2 minus v1. You can rearrange the equation, you will get the two statements, and these two statements are comparable in terms of, because you know that in this problem the magnitude is not given, numeric value is not given, rather than it is mentioned y1 y2 y3. So therefore y11 will be equal to y1 plus y2, y12 is equal to minus y2, y21 is equal to 0.5 minus y2, and y22 is equal to y2 plus y3. So that means this problem is, so I hope that you are able to solve this particular problem. So even if it is not mentioned at the tuning end, so obviously it should be noted that this potential drop will be definitely different than that of V1 because of this pi network. Okay, so there is a certain amount of drop will be experienced over here, so this value will be lesser than this. So let us assume that this value is V1 cap. You can take dash or any nomenclature other than V1. Okay, so that's how you can write down one nodal equation related to I1. Okay, in terms of V1 and V1 cap, and similarly you can write down another equation for the I2 in terms of I1 because this is 1 by a at the time, so I2 is nothing but it is actually I1 cap is minus of a times of I2, so I2 is equal to minus 1 by a times of 1. Okay, so from here, because I1 dash is already known, so I1 dash you can substitute over here, and that way you can work it out the of your V1. So V1 we can rearrange the modified the equation, and you can calculate it in terms of V1 and V2. So from here you can see that y11 is equal to 2 ohm inverse, y22 is equal to 2 by a square, but y12 and y21 have the equal magnitude. That means this network is a reciprocal network. Okay, so let us proceed to the next problem. Now we are coming to the last session of this particular lecture series. This will, for the today's lecture series. So that is the Y parameter analysis of the terminated two port. Exactly the same relation, but what exactly happening that it shows that the interrelation between the different nodes and the different masses involved within this particular network in between V1 and this V2 are more playing in the nodal in nature. They are more nodal equations. Okay, and therefore with related to other, if you look at in the load end, in this particular load end also, the load is available in terms of the admittance parameter rather than impedance parameters. Okay, so you are asked to calculate the y parameters. Fine. So you can apply similarly the equation just what we do in case of z parameter. So I1 is equal to y11 v1 plus y12 v2, and I2 is equal to y21 v1 plus y22 v2, and you are getting the additional quantity because of this yl, that is I2 is equal to minus yl minus v2 times of yl. Okay, so if you are substituting this, you will get the modified equation is like this. Okay, further if you are going to solve, again you can get this y input impedance in terms of the standard equations. Okay, here let me again mention that, justify it. Okay, okay, how you are getting, how you are getting. Okay, prove this. So you are need to, you are required to prove it over here. Okay, you are required to prove it over here. Right? Okay, how? So that's the challenge for you again, and then let me again proceed. So that's how you can represent the value of v2 in terms of v1. Let me proceed further, that you know there is a standard equation and you can substitute this value of v1 v2 in terms of v1 by y11 minus y21 y212 upon y22 upon plus yl within bracket into v1. Okay, so from here v2 by v1, the ratio you will getting again is minus y21 upon y22 upon yl. So if you are going to rearrange this equation, this circuit is exactly the complement circuit of what you have seen in case of jet parameter analysis as far as the terminated admittance are concerned. There we worked out the terminated impedance, and then accordingly we modified the standard model. You see, actually this is the exact configurations of the original circuits. Okay, there I have shown you that actually there is a real applications of the voltage amplifier. This is nothing but it is a real applications of the current amplifiers. Okay, hope that you are able to appreciate it. So with this, you can exercise this particular problem. So if you are finding any particular difficulty, particularly the terminated admittance impedance problems, okay, or to realization of any problem which is related to type T network and pi network, okay, with or without involving the dependent or independent sources, okay, when you are asked to calculate the y parameters or z parameters, okay, so you can practice as many as problems, standard problems from both the books, Ballstead and Valkenburg. Okay, if you are still finding any difficulty, so we will discuss all those doubts at the beginning of the third lecture of this particular module number 2 series. Okay, lecture series 3 of the module number 2. Okay, and as far as the interconnections, if there are more than complex networks, those are interconnected in shunt or in parallel manners are concerned. Okay, just like as I conclude in my last lecture. Okay, all those establishment can be very easily done with the help of admittance parameter. That is something we will see at the last of this series of lectures as far as the two port is concerned. Thank you.